Alright, you ready? I'm gonna start somewhere simple.
Simple. Okay.
Okay, this is Justin Zarn, as featured in a couple of my other films and randomosity things. So we just got back from Inception. It was my third time seeing it, his first. Before we talk about, controversy, let's just talk about how much we liked it. Breaking it down into parts. First, I want to talk about the soundtrack first. Now, I think this is something that really carried the movie, like, a lot of the way through, because, especially in the last scene, it's overwhelming. I don't want to ruin anything. Should I make this a spoilers alert video? Oh, well, yeah, I have to, because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
okay,
this has to
this is... I'm going to have this in the title, but this is a strong spoiler alert movie. If you've seen Inception, please watch this and comment and leave your responses. If you have not and you plan on seeing it, do not watch this review.
At all.
Because this is the most controversial ending to a film you will ever see to this date. I don't know, maybe they'll make Inception 2 someday.
Oh god, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that.
And if they did, I don't think I'd want them to, because it's just such a perfect movie.
I don't think I'd see it.
Yeah.
Unless it got, like, oh my god.
Yeah. I would have to hear about it.
Like, yeah, I would have to hear.
Okay, so the soundtrack. Especially in the last scene of the movie, you have, when he enters the house, and the soundtrack is very quiet. And then the grandfather says, "James, Philippa, look who's here." And you turn around, and it's just this overwhelmingly warm and happy melody that's just kind of... It feels like it's like long, drawn-out tones that are just kind of flooding over the scenery, I felt. And it's just kind of these giant waves of sound that really just carry the scene in a brilliant way. And this goes for the rest of the movie, but the last scene in particular. And then, when you see the top... the soundtrack dies down, and it's a that's in rhythm with the thing, and then it cuts, as we all know.
Like that scene, because I read on their Facebook, someone said, "What if it fell?" Maybe it did. So I read that on Facebook, so then the whole movie I was like, wait, what's gonna fall? Oh, and then that top came, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you came into your head at this the last second.
And then it ended, I was like, ew.
What if it falls? Oh, darn.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, the soundtrack, they did so well with it. Like, that ending scene, yeah, where you say it's like warm tones, and it just floods it floods even the visuals, really. Like, it matches perfectly for that point, and then you see that thing, and then that sound slowly slowly makes you think, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, it fills you, and then it drains out, just boom, just gone.
Yeah. You're like, no, cut. Oh man. And then when they're in the dreams, like, this soundtrack was always eerie.
Yeah.
I loved that.
That's something that I've talked about in both of my reviews. This is my third time filming this, and I haven't been satisfied with my first two. How the entire dream segment, which is like the entire second half of the movie, it just has this undertone of creepy.
Yeah.
I won't say creepy. It's not scary. It's just eerie. Like, it's uncomfortable. It's like discomforting.
It's not... So, it's not discomforting to your ears, but no, it's just, it
emotionally.
Makes you like...
Yeah.
But even when he's, like, introducing it to that one girl, like, and you think it's like, oh, this is cool, she's learning to control her dreams. It's not like this upbeat, coming of age story,
it's still
music. It's still like...
Yeah. Because normally in those kind of scenes where Ariadne first learns to use her dream abilities, in those kind of scenes you're going to get kind of an upbeat learning montage music. But here, it's just very subtle. And you don't really get a lot of music, which makes it... It kind of holds itself back, which I think makes it feel very eerie. And even when, she folds the city on itself, like, at first you're mind blown. It's just visually compelling and it's awesome. and then all the people start staring at her, and you're like, oh, dreams are bad.
Yeah, you're like you're seeing the city fold, and you're like, that's cool. And then the music is kind of like, kind of that whole tone where they just alternate. But and it fills you, and it makes you feel like
something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah,
but it's a really, it's not like an adventurous something's gonna go wrong. It's like a disturbing something's gonna go wrong.
It's like that disturbing feeling where you think something's gonna come out.
Yeah,
you did not
exactly.
Realize
exactly.
That you aren't thinking of, that you're not gonna think of.
Yeah.
You can't predict what's gonna happen.
Like, you know,
and then you see the people looking at you, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
this is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad.
Like, you know that feeling you get when you're dreaming, and the whole dream, like, nothing bad is happening in the dream, but the dream just feels bad.
Yeah.
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 That's what it feels like most of this movie.
If you have... Everyone's had those just dull dreams where you're just, like, walking, and it's just a city, and all the... Like, I've had this dream. All the buildings look the same.
Oh.
I actually had this dream where I was on, basically, a red cube floating in a red sky, and I could walk around the cube, like, all the way around it, and gravity would hold me to it, and it had just weird, like, offshoots of shapes things, but the general shape was a cube. And just had, like, structures on it. And I was there alone. And nothing bad was happening, but I was just like, I don't like this red cube. Because, like, I mean, obviously, I was alone, so that's kind of weird. But that's not really what felt bad. It was just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I don't like this. And you get that feeling from when they're showing you, even though what you're seeing you think is awesome, the soundtrack just makes you think,
yeah. Yeah. It's such a new feeling for movies, I think, because we've had, obviously, scary, overdone, I think. Disturbing is something that's coming more into focus these days with movies like Paranormal Activity and Signs. Something that'll leave you scared after the movie. But this is just weird.
Yeah.
It's you don't know why it feels weird, but it just feels bad. I think a good part of that it comes from the memory prison for me. It started with the memory prison because that whole place just feels fucked up.
Yeah, it really does.
Even when you're on the top and you're seeing the beach, you're just like, this is a bad place. I want to leave now.
Yeah, even when they go up to the beach and you still see, you're just like, this is still bad. This is not a nice little beach. This is like torturous monotony of eternity.
Yeah, exactly.
Doom of a beach.
And for me, watching it a second and third time, that scene in combination with the scene where Mama kills herself, the real time.
Yeah.
Watching it a second and third time, I didn't want to watch those scenes. I mean, they're so good and well done, but it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In a really new way that hasn't been experienced in film.
Yeah, it's just that it's so well making you uneasy in there.
All right. Well, we've talked about the soundtrack, and I think we've got the general discussion about the feeling, which is something I also wanted to.
The whole soundtrack kind of gave you that same feeling because mainly the music was playing during the dreams, and so I mean, it left nothing to be desired, really. Like, I thought the soundtrack was perfect for what they were trying to make you feel. Oh,
something else I wanted to touch on was how, in the kind of disaster scenes, like specifically when the bass thing exploded and was collapsing, you get those loud blaring boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, kind of like when you're playing Annex on Gears of War when you're about to win. It's kind of like that, but you don't just hear the explosion. It's like a monotone noise that you hear too. It just like utters in your mind, destruction is upon you. Or
epicness is upon you.
Yeah.
Again, it's that weird, not good epicness.
Yeah, it's not like this is so cool. It's like this is so bad.
Or there is no time to get out.
Yeah.
And these people might be stuck here for 50 years.
Yeah. Bad. Oh my god, yeah. I did not like that idea.
Fuck. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the fucking. I don't know, the writing and the acting. For me, the thing that really I think makes a movie potentially an award winner, which I'm quite certain Inception will be, is the writing. And the writing, it's a lot with like Hurt Locker, and if you look back at all the previous Oscar winners, they're all movies that give you just the perfect amount of information.
Yeah.
By information, I mean in this movie, like for the first 30 minutes, you don't know what the fuck is going on, but you know you just got to go with it.
Yeah.
And then everything starts explaining itself, and for a while, you as the viewer are seeing the movie through the viewpoint of Ariadne because you are the learner, like she's the architect.
Yeah, like she's learning to be the architect, and you're learning the ways of the dream, basically. And
there are some things where they just downright tell it to you because these are things that Ariadne needs to know. But there are other things about dreams. I know I'm going to think of examples later.
I would say the things that they don't tell you are the things that main character's name again? Cobb are the things that only Cobb knows because he's been to the.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's really true.
Because he's the only one who's been. What are they called?
Limbo.
Limbo.
Yeah.
And he knows all about how things that you make or whatever can like stay with you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
like they teach you the general idea of dreams, how you control dreams, how you get out of dreams, how you make dreams bad, and what you're not supposed to do in dreams.
Yeah.
And then I guess really they tell you everything you need to know, and then everything you want to know is Cobb tells you through his character development, and I think that's just some of the most brilliant fucking writing I've ever witnessed. And the actors that deliver it so well.
Like how they tell you that time is altered.
Yeah,
in dreams.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I loved how they explained that.
Like 5 minutes in real world will give you an hour in the dream, and then with whatever sedative you're using, like 3 seconds can turn into decades if you're deep enough.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and that's something that they told you out front, but it took you a while to.
Yeah, it's something that you can't really understand until you see it, where you see them falling in the car and it's in slow motion.
Yeah.
But then one level down, Arthur is going kind of slow, and then the third level down is normal speed.
Yeah.
Or the fourth level. Yeah, third level down.
Yeah, third level down.
So the writing and the reveal and the way it developed, I thought was just brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved it. They egg you on so well because you're so interested, especially with the first scene where you find out instead of being one level in, they're actually 2 levels in.
Yeah, that was cool. I was like, okay, they're not dreaming anymore, and then I was like, they're still dreaming, because he's like, my carpet is wool, and this is lino or whatever. Polyester. Yeah,
and I'm still dreaming. Oh, are you?
And then I was like,
okay, acting, writing, soundtrack, feeling.
Acting. We didn't talk about acting.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
It was good.
They had a great blend of characters. I mean, Cobb, he's typical, but he does the typical role, the typical lead guy really well. The guy who needs something and he's desperate for it. He really shows that he's desperate and something he cares about.
And he also knows the most.
Yeah.
Well, not all lead roles really know the most, I guess.
No, I think that's something, usually you have a side character who's like, the scientist.
The wise one.
Yeah, the scientist of the group who's usually maybe like nerdy or kind of weak, but in this one...
The Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Exactly, yeah. you have the Obi-Wan Kenobi character who just knows everything about the situation because they've experienced it, or they've just studied it. Where this, no one knows anything nearly as much as Cobb.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of his development as a character, is how much he knows. And I really like the uniqueness there that the lead character is the one who knows everything, which sometimes can make it seem overwhelming, like the lead character has too much stuff.
Yeah.
But this, I thought, was just perfect balance, because he is the lead, and the director knew that, and he's like, he should have some more than the other characters, but not too much.
He, like, in a lot of movies, if it seems like if you give the lead character also the wise part, the wise character part, it seems like, oh, this dude is just
over the top
badass, kind of thing. But for Cobb, it's like, because it's really the fact that he knows so much is his weakness. Almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that actually makes him a weaker character. His knowledge and his ability to or knowledge to handle the situation. That was really unique.
Yeah.
Something else. The guy who played Arthur, the straight lace. He was great.
He was awesome.
Just a fucking badass.
He was also the comical character, which I liked.
Yeah.
He was a pivotal role because he had such an important job in the whole thing, but he was also the comical guy.
Yeah.
I liked that because honestly, I don't care what kind of movie you have to have a comical character, or else people are gonna
absolutely
take it too seriously.
And hit him with the guy who played Eves, the British guy.
Yeah, they were funny. And then when he's like, when they were in the
warehouse or the workshop,
in the hotel. No, they're in the waiting room of the hotel or whatever, or the front room, and he's sitting with the girl. I always forget her name because it's complicated.
Ariadne?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, they're onto something, and they're looking for the dreamer. They're looking for me. Give me a kiss. and then
shot.
And then it ends up doing nothing whatsoever to help them. And he's like,
but it's like he knew that it wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
Such subtleties. And
I
like how Arthur and Eves have this background that they hate each other, but you don't know what it is. It's just you're thrown into the middle of this relationship, and they hate each other, but you don't know why.
They're just like, I don't like you.
Yeah. How Eves really enjoys it when Arthur gets kicked every time.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Maul. It's fucking creepy.
Oh, God, Maul.
And I like how, at the very end, when Cobb is confronting her in the building that's being destroyed, and he talks about how she's imperfect, but perfect, and has so many things about her. Yeah, details that
he couldn't recreate.
Yeah, exactly. And you really see that. Like, you feel like you don't know the original Maul, but the whole movie you do feel like this Maul is just not what she used to be.
Yeah, she's a little messed up.
Yeah.
Because she's always saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like, she never says anything different, it seems like.
Yeah. She's obsessive.
Yeah, extremely obsessive. And like, I really, that scene, that scene where the building is collapsing and he's talking to Paul, I really like how they made it feel like he's really talking to himself rather than to her.
It's a self-realization thing.
Yeah. Like, you can tell that he is forgiving himself almost.
Yeah.
Well, more than almost, definitely. He's forgiving himself in that point, but I did like how they made you feel that that's what was going on. Like, you didn't think, oh, he's just being crazy talking to her again. Like, it was actually...
He's not really letting him go, he's letting himself go.
Yeah.
His old self.
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as we're talking about that scene, it's a good point to transition to the end of the movie.
Oh, God.
Alright, so from that, everyone gets out of the dream, except Cobb. We don't know for... Cobb and Saito.
Cobb and Saito don't make it out at the same time. At the same time everyone else does.
Yeah.
They eventually do come out. Whoa.
We're
actually not sure about that, actually.
Okay, so let's just analyze this. So he wakes... What I know... Something I needed... I know I thought about this, but I think I just forgot it. Is how does he get from being in the room with Maul to being on the beach? Because I know the beach is limbo.
Yeah.
But the place he already is also limbo.
Yeah. See, that's what's weird for me because Saito died a level up
Yeah.
So he would have gone a level down to the same level he was
Well,
at.
I think limbo is a neutral level. It's not below or above anything. It's just blah.
Yeah, you're right.
So
But then that still leaves, like, he's already in limbo. Saito comes into limbo. Then he can't, like, can he go into limbo again from limbo, like the same limbo, and just start over in limbo? Can you, like, kill yourself in limbo and just respawn?
yeah, it's most. I guess he'd kill himself, or maybe it's
like,
every person has their own limbo. I was considering, so it's just Saito's limbo was different, and that was the first one was Cobb and Maul's limbo, and that was Saito's limbo. But earlier in the movie, they explained that limbo is unconstructed, infinite dream space.
Yeah.
So it's
so I guess.
Well, they did say that everyone sharing the dream would go to the same limbo.
Yeah. So they were sharing the dream. They were all sharing the same 3 or 4 level dream.
Yeah.
So Saito, he goes into limbo. So maybe, I mean, I guess you could always just default to the fact that he physically went out and looked for Saito in limbo,
Yeah.
and it took him that long to find him. But he didn't age, which was weird.
Yeah, I know. That's something that I
He
was
didn't
talking
age,
about
but
with.
then when he finds Saito, Saito is like 80, which was weird for me because it's like, to me, it seemed like he would have had to go deeper or something.
I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna write down the questions we have, and hopefully the comments will give us answers. Okay. So the first question we have for you guys is: how does Cobb get from his limbo to Saito's limbo?
Yeah.
Does he just
How does Cobb find Saito?
Does he just walk there, or does he kill himself? I mean, I don't think there's a definitive answer, but what are your guys' theories?
I don't think it's one that anyone of the sane mind can figure out.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's... Because Saito's hella old when he finds him, and then he's just like, I'm normal.
Okay, and then... So, he gets to Saito's limbo somehow, and then he's talking to Saito. And at the end of their conversation, after Saito realizes that he's in limbo, and it's not the real world,
mm-hmm.
he realizes that again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he reaches for the gun, like I assume he's going to kill himself to get out.
Yeah,
and then it just cuts.
Yeah. They don't tell you if they both killed themselves.
Or if they stayed, or... Well, I assume they would kill themselves. Why wouldn't they go through that? But, okay, I assume they did kill themselves, but the question is, did killing themselves bring them back to the real world, or did it leave them in limbo? Because they missed the kicks.
Yeah. They missed the kicks, and so you'd think they'd just have to wait for the sedative to wear off, which would have been like decades for them. But then, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he said that he spent 50 years or something in limbo the first time he was there. So...
Until he killed himself.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, because, remember, he was with Maul, and then they put their heads on the train tracks.
Yeah.
And then they woke up. So they just didn't kill themselves for 50 years. That's another...
But that's another thing. How do you know for certain that killing yourself in limbo brings you back? Because by the rules of the dream, it seems like it should send you into limbo again.
Yeah. Well, okay, you go into limbo if you're too heavily sedated while dreaming.
Yeah. And you try to kill yourself in order to wake up.
Right. Or you just die.
Yeah, or you just die.
Okay, let's phrase that into a question, but I'm not sure how.
So... Does dying in limbo actually return you to the real... Does it actually wake you up, or does it send you back into limbo?
Further limbo or something.
Does it send you back into limbo without your realization?
It would if they were still too heavily sedated.
Yeah.
Okay, so the kicks worked. Why do they need kicks?
Because the sedation doesn't affect their inner ear.
Oh, right.
But if they kick too many levels up, which is more than one level up,
yeah,
it won't wake them up because they're conscious in another dream. In a dream further than that kick can affect.
I have ideas and then I just lose them because so much to think about. So they rode the kicks. The rest of the people, excluding Saito and Cobb.
I know. Okay, so the kicks don't affect. I was thinking about why this would happen. The kicks don't affect further than one level down, because the people that are conscious one level down are the ones that are conscious to feel what their unconscious self is feeling. So they're conscious to feel it. But the people that are sleeping in this level, and dreaming in this level, this sleeping body is not conscious to feel the changes that this kick is giving them. So this sleeping body does not transfer the feeling to their dream.
Oh,
so that's why the kicks can only go one level down. Because this body's not conscious.
And that's why they have to do the kicks at the same time?
Yeah. Well, it would seem that they would have to do the kicks in order, in quick succession.
Yeah.
Start from the lowest level down where the people are sleeping. Kick them awake. Kick the next level awake. Kick the next level awake. Kick the final level awake. To wake everyone up.
I was thinking about it and then I just lost it. Alright, question 2. Kicks with a question mark after it. Help.
Yes, kicks, question mark.
Okay, and then something about Saito and Cobb. Where are Saito and Cobb at the end of the movie? Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Not the very end, but...
right before he grabs the gun. What's going on right there?
Where are Saito and Cobb at the end, and where do they go to? Or where should they go to?
Yeah. Because it's every one of this movie's watchers' desires for them to just wake up and actually be on that plane. But
yeah,
it would seem like they'd go to a further limbo. I don't know.
Right, I think that brings us to the last clip of the movie.
Yeah, that amazing clip. Okay, so the one question I have, or the one predicament I have, which there is an argument against it.
Yeah, but you should say it anyway so they can acknowledge it.
So, okay, so the problem I have is, how come when he finally sees his kids' faces, they are doing the exact same thing that he has a memory of them doing before he leaves them.
Right.
Except for the fact that this time he gets to see their faces. But they are doing the exact same thing. They have not aged at all. And he... Actually, that's just it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Alright, and then the answer we came up with for why haven't they aged? It's because, remember, at the beginning of the movie, he gets the phone call from his kids, or he calls the kids, I don't remember, and they're still super young, from what we can tell. So he has not been away from home for too long. So I would say, referencing that message and how it looked at the beginning of the movie, he has not been away from the United States for too long for them to grow up.
So, but then the second question, which was, how come they're doing the same exact thing as they are in all his memories?
I think there's two answers to that. One, obviously he's dreaming, and it's just he's what he
And
wants to
that's
see.
why boom does not fall.
Yeah. Or 2, it's just the perfect ending that he's been waiting for.
Yeah.
It's just it's either he's dreaming or it's just it's a good movie cliche that you have to go with.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should disregard it just because quote it's a cliche that you should go with.
Yeah.
But it's because that's what we've been seeing the whole movie, and it's something that needed to happen if he was actually asleep.
Yeah.
I mean awake. Fuck. If he was still awake. It was something that we would have needed to see to be reminded of what he's been fighting for and all the cliche stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, question for I don't know.
Kids, age, and action? Question mark. Why are the kids? I mean, obviously we kind of we gave a possible answer because the voices don't confirm that he's been away.
That's
because
true.
Voices don't change until that time of your life when things start to change.
Okay, I'll just say it'll be more of a statement. Theories on children when Cobb returns home. Okay, anything else before we get to the huge question?
Oh,
the one that carries the whole movie.
The one that the audience is
that just hate.
Yeah. I don't think so.
I don't know. Was there anything else we were talking about before we got here?
Oh, well, I have one question. I want to know at the end of the movie, right before the scene, when he's like seeing his kids and stuff, the dude is in his house.
The grandfather?
No, not the grandfather. There's the guy in the suit in his house still.
What?
Like, isn't there a guy in...
You mean the very last scene?
Yeah.
Or the memory?
No, the very last scene. Is his grandfather?
Yeah, it's his grandfather.
Okay, maybe I just saw it wrong. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Because there is the scene earlier where he goes to the memory prison.
Yeah.
And the guy is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy in the suit's there, and he's got a form.
Mm-hmm. I'll take it.
Yeah. See, I thought the guy was there with a form of
citizenship or something, or regained.
Cleared.
Oh, yeah.
Bounty or whatever.
Yeah. Alright, I guess it's time.
Oh, wait.
What?
One more question just popped in my head.
What's that? What?
Okay. This is one that it poses the question if the whole thing is a dream.
The whole movie?
The whole movie.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Because remember when he's getting the forger from New Mombasa? Or from Mombasa or whatever. The forger guy. He's...
Eves.
Yeah, he's Eves. And those agency guys are chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's that scene combined with the scene where he's finally talking to his wife again, and it's like he hasn't forgiven himself yet, but he's still talking to her, and she's like telling him about how he should just stay with her there rather than go back and be in a world controlled by anonymous agencies.
Wait, she says it?
She says that. She says something.
Wait, what?
She says something
at the very end?
Like
or,
almost at the very end when they're in
right.
limbo, and it's the buildings are like
controlled by anonymous agencies.
Yeah, she said that world in control by anonymous agencies, and you see those guys chasing.
Yeah.
What if those are just projections?
But
and
who would be dreaming?
Him.
Well, I mean, you could say that about any movie.
Because they're chasing him though, and their agency name is mentioned.
Yeah, it's the people that he failed in the first section of the movie. The global energy thing. Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time either. Remember when in the very first scene, or the second scene, when they're in Saito's dream, within a dream, and they're trying to get the information away from him?
Yeah.
They're working for that company, and then they fail. And that's why those people are hunting them. Because they failed and they're going to kill them. And Cobb actually says, Saito, we are not going to last 2 days with these people that we just failed on our trail. Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time either.
Because, just to me, that seemed like it fit perfectly. Anonymous agencies and these random agency dudes are chasing him through, and they all look the same, and the whole idea of projection is bullshit. Okay, never mind that.
Alright,
the last scene.
Last clip.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna say it. Is Cobb dreaming or not? In the last part of the movie.
Does the top fall?
Yes, does the top fall? That is the question that will be talked about for decades and centuries to come, as long as film still exists. I think this is just
going down in history.
This is going to be going down in history as just one of the most controversial scenes in a film ever.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What do you guys hope? Obviously, I hope that it fell over.
Yeah.
I assume that everyone would hope it fell over. But when you think about it, if it didn't fall over and he is still dreaming, nonetheless, he's with his kids and he's going to be happy. But the kids are a projection of his mind, and they're not real.
Fake.
It's just how he would have predicted they would grow up.
Because
that's what they would be.
Because there's the whole idea that every time he sees his kids in his memory, he doesn't see their face, and he refuses to see their faces, because possibly that's what would convince him of reality.
Yeah, I mean that is what would convince him of reality.
He sees their faces, and he's convinced of reality, even though that top may still be spinning now.
I mean, it's like, he's going to go back to that top, and he's going to know if he's dreaming or not, because this is going to be spinning.
Yeah.
We're not going to know.
Yeah.
But if he's... I guess a better question would be, if he is still dreaming, and I assume he would find out very quickly, what would he do?
God. Dude, I don't know.
And where would he wake? Well, he would have to wake up on the plane, because he would still be dreaming for 8 hours on that plane.
Yeah.
It's just time would go at like 1/1,000,000th of the time it would on the plane in that limbo.
Mm-hmm.
40-minute video.
We boss him out.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready to be done if you are.
I'm ready to be done.
All right.
This is just destroying my brain.
Okay. So, guys, your 5 questions, please leave them in the comments and respond to them with numbers by them so we can associate. Number 1, how does Cobb get to Saito's limbo? How the fuck does he do that? Number 2, kicks, question mark.
What are they? What are your thoughts on them?
Well, we know what they are.
Well, yeah, we know what they are.
It's just the last series of kicks. How would that have affected? How did they work exactly?
Yeah.
I think we would know how they work if we thought about it for a really long time. I don't fucking want to do that.
Yeah,
Okay, 3. Where are Saito and Cobb at the end of the movie, and where should they go if they shoot themselves? Where would they go? Because they're in limbo. We know, but are they in Saito's limbo, Cobb's limbo? How did Cobb get to Saito's limbo? Is a better question, I think. And where would they go if they shot themselves in that limbo? 4, theories on the children when Cobb returns home, about how they've aged, how they haven't aged, all that stuff. And 5, did the top fall? desires and predictions. What do you think? And I guess a continuation of that would be, what would Cobb do when he returned to find out that the top had not fallen? It was still spinning.
Freak out.
Yeah, hardcore.
I would. I'd be like, no.
Okay, I'm going to finish this. So, oh goodness. Hopefully you didn't watch this if you haven't already seen the movie. I'd be really disappointed if some of you have. I'm going to film this right now and put it at the beginning of the movie. And say, at the beginning of this video, say do not watch this if you've not seen Inception. Unless you just don't give a shit about Inception, which I don't know why you would. And even if you didn't and you haven't seen it, this video is not going to make any fucking sense to you. But it still could ruin some stuff. Yeah, if you haven't seen Inception, don't watch this. If you have seen Inception, please do. Please comment. Please respond. And now I'm going to go back and do the conclusion. Would you say that's your favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Star Wars trilogy, but fuck yeah.
I would too. There you go. That's two people. And I've had multiple others say the same thing. So go see it if you haven't. Why are you watching this if you haven't seen it? Never mind.